Hello, DLCDD students. That's a mouthful. I just want to say hi real quick. I know we've had a little bit of audio, but mostly text communication so far. So I just want to make a quick little video. I did get a chance to read through all of your posts in the Module 1 discussion board. So I should respond to each of you with a little bit of feedback. Now, as far as general feedback for the entire class, one of the things that I try to look at when looking at these modules is to make sure that we're not kind of throwing the kitchen sink at it. We want to make sure that we're coming up with a relatively focused module. So we want to make sure that we're not throwing too many course competencies out there. So as we're building our module, I want to say, what are we focusing on? Now, there are times that we're going to touch a little bit over here on this module, a little bit over here, but realistically, that competency is going to be covered fully in a different module. So in that case, we might mention it in this one, but most likely, if we're going to fully cover it elsewhere in the course, we don't really need to say we're going to touch on this small topic a little bit. We're going to say, all right, let's see what the focus of this module is. We're going to really address these competencies in this module, and that's kind of what we want to go with when we're looking at this guy here. Because where we're eventually going, we're going to be going next week, is we're going to start saying, all right, what are the objectives that make up these competencies? If we end up having like 5 competencies and we need a few objectives for each of those competencies, and then we need to assess each of those objectives, that turns into a multiplication problem that becomes kind of rough. That if you have 5 competencies with like 3 objectives each, that's 15 objectives, and trying to assess those 15 objectives, that's going to become overwhelming. So as we're getting this general overview of the module and what you want to approach, that's kind of the idea you want to start thinking about. And that's why I asked this question about the subtopics on that discussion, is the subtopics are we're going to kind of get at with the module objectives, is to say, if I can figure out what the pieces are to that competency, then maybe those small pieces will turn into objectives. Those objectives can then turn into activities, assessments, things that we're going to do within the module. So that's kind of how we want to start thinking about this. Is we start big picture with roughly, hey, what's the big idea that we're going to cover in this module? What course competencies, what performances will the students be doing throughout this? And then we'll break it up into its pieces, and then we can say with each of those pieces, how do I present or teach that? How do I give students an opportunity to practice that? How do I assess that they actually did that accordingly? So that's kind of the idea where we're going with this. And when it comes to the Module 2 discussion, I'm taking a little bit of a step back and letting you guys work a little more with your peers and giving each other feedback there. I will be popping in to make sure that we're not completely off track or anything. I'll be a little more involved in the Module 1 discussion, just so you kind of know what to expect out of me there. And if you have questions, let me know. And also, just so you know, everybody that is participating in the course has participated in the Module 1 discussion. The other piece, before I stop this, I almost stopped the video too early, I do want to point out, even if you don't plan on responding to each and every one of your classmates, I'd highly advise for the Module 1 discussion that you at least read through all of them. Since we're all going to be working together on these modules, it's going to be a good idea to kind of have a basic idea of what everybody's module is going to be covering. So go ahead and just read through each of them and kind of get an idea of what each person is covering. So anyhow, have a wonderful day. I will talk to you again soon.